Hi, everybody. This is Bernadette. Welcome. It's so nice to have you on board today. And I hope you all ready and full energy to start the new year. We actually started in a great way. There, it's busy. It's more busy than ever. It feels like everybody woke up and everybody is back on the market. And I also feel a very positive vibe with a lot of companies we work with. People are ready to get back on the market and get back to the success they had before. There are a lot of opportunities coming our way. So I hope you and your company also feel that vibe and take advantage of it in 2023. Now, first of all, I wanted to say that we already started with our new magazine, which is going to be on the market in March. And it's a good time to be on board. It's all about business and luxury. It's a great reach. If you like to see if you can be promoted in that magazine, go to our website and look at Publish Your Brand on the top. And see if that's something for you. We have a great reach and a lot of promotion before that. Now, today I'm talking about a very successful entrepreneur and somebody I really like to talk to today. His name is Victor Horcasitas, and I hope I say this right. He's an American, but his name has a Spanish touch, and he's an entrepreneur. He's the owner of Barcelona Metropolitan, which is a very well-known magazine here in Barcelona. It's an international magazine, but focusing on Barcelona as a city. And he's also the president of the society, the American Society in Barcelona. He is also from American clubs around the world. He is a advisor in technology sectors. And he's a director, a non-executive director at ConX Hub. So he has a lot on his plate, and he can tell us a lot about networking, about entrepreneurship, and his story will definitely inspire you. So here he is. Hello, Victor. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Bernadette. I love being here with you, and I'm excited to do the European Life podcast.
Me too. Me too, because I actually had you on my list for a while, and I tell you why. We both love Barcelona. We are both in Barcelona, and as I said in my introduction, you are the owner of Metropolitan Magazine, which is an English language magazine in Barcelona. And let me explain that when I came into Barcelona, I had so much help with this magazine because the clubs are in there, you know what's going on, etc., etc. So that was very helpful. But you more than that. I just want to know about, Metropolitan Magazine, the president of the American Society in Barcelona, helping immigrants going to Barcelona. Can you tell me a little bit about that role? It seems like a lot to me.
Well, it's something that I kind of stepped into. I really wasn't prepared. But a lot of us do things when it becomes personal, Bernadette. I love Barcelona. I came here in 1996, and I chased a miniskirt, Bernadette, to be honest. I came here and I decided to start a life with a person who was from Barcelona. Things were going great, and I love the city. A lot of people do. However, that relationship did not end as well as I might have liked. And the difference between living in a city that's not your own or a country that's not your own, and having somebody who's from there, I didn't realize how much I depended on my ex-wife and her family as much as I did. I just was completely unaware. And then after going through the divorce, I had to create an entirely new network of friends, of trusted colleagues, of how to get things done. It may sound silly, but getting your bills paid, finding a bank account, knowing where to take your car, how to take care of your pet, all of this stuff from years of living here I could just depend on my family to tell me. When you're new, you don't know anything. And it was a completely different life. And I don't know if this is the kind of information that you're asking, but it basically became a mission to try to help people who have chosen to come to Barcelona to integrate well, to learn the language, to love the city just like I do.
Well, I quite enjoyed your story, like I always do. And I think also there were a lot of tips for already the listeners. You need help when you get to another city, not only to get around, to know where your doctor is, or where you can buy the right things, but you at least need help in any way. Now, not only were you in another city, but you actually managed to be a successful entrepreneur in that city, and being well known in the international community. So that's, to me, quite impressive. You told me when we were preparing for this podcast that you are also advising people or helping companies, et cetera, et cetera. Can you tell me, if I'm a company or new in the city, where exactly can I reach out to you? What kind of service do you offer me?
Well, for example, the American Society of Barcelona is an NGO. So it's a nonprofit organization. All of us are volunteers, 100%. Nobody gets paid. And what we do is we help people integrate into the city by introducing them to the right way of getting things done. Spain is always, or I should say, often accused of the bureaucracy that's terrible here. And, I have taken, without exaggeration, more than 25 people to get them registered in City Hall. And it's very important. A lot of this is not something that's important in the US, but we can also make introductions to companies if they would like to establish a foothold or a presence here. We do presentations to help raise capital, to do marketing, to do digital marketing, social media, things like this that help you integrate into a new country. Separately, we do a lot of charitable work. We raise funds and donations for different organizations. And that's something that's been near and dear to my heart for the last 15 years. And we pretty much work with three different types of organizations. One is helping children, one is helping women, and one is helping senior citizens. And this is basically our raison d'etre, to help people integrate and make Barcelona a wonderful place to live.
Wow, that sounds like a nice journey you got there, and also something, to be very grateful that you can help them with it. Getting back to entrepreneurs, right? You know that our listeners are entrepreneurs all over the world. They have small business, big businesses. And I can imagine, actually, to be honest, this week I got an email from somebody from United States, actually. And they want to have help to present themselves, to make themselves visible in Barcelona, in Spain, and, well, actually also in other cities in Europe. So as an entrepreneur, you're coming to Barcelona, what kind of help can you give them? And how does the magazine fit in? I was wondering.
Okay. I'd be delighted to talk to you a little bit about the history of the magazines too, but I want to answer your questions as you posed it. Well, we can help them with advertising. We can help them to what we call here in Barcelona a landing. So if you want to come to Barcelona from Mexico, from Dubai, Canada, wherever, we can try to help set up meetings with people who are of interest to you, so that you don't have to not only get here and start to deal with the languages and everything, and try to figure out where people are. We just host a meeting for you, one place with like 10 different companies, so it's nice and easy for you. And other companies will come to you, and if you're coming internationally, there is a strong welcoming and a respect from the local community for people who take the time to come to Barcelona and try to do business here. It's a very friendly business environment, in the sense of wanting to internationalize themselves. And the other ways that we can help people is to make introductions to investors. So I've been helping with in raising capital for the last 15 years for technology startups. And one of the good things or nice things about a city that's relatively small is that you get to know the players quite quickly. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on. Barcelona is in high fashion in the United States and perhaps around the world, because we're getting people from everywhere. And the city has now offered something, or the country has offered something called the digital nomad visa, which is going to really help people to be able to develop and establish a presence, a business presence here in Barcelona without having to worry about some of the nasty bureaucratic delays in getting your visa set up. And we can walk them through that, as well as getting the capital and make introductions. One of the things that we always love to do is enjoying the city with the great foods and the wines and the nightlife.
I know all about that. It's like a small dream, to be honest. But yeah, no, that's very interesting, actually. And also, I think that while you were talking, we as entrepreneurs, you know how it works. You meet somebody and then you have like a hard disk in your head, and that's going to turn and turn and turn. And before you know it, in your head, you're building another company on the side. At least that works for me. But I was thinking that hearing this, that EuropeanLife is always working with Luxury Weeks. And one of the Luxury Weeks we are going to work on this year is EuropeanLife Luxury Week Barcelona. And one of the events I think are very interesting to have in that Luxury Week would be a sort of network event ourselves, where people can meet other entrepreneurs, having pitches and investors there, having one-to-one meetings. This is actually a format we want to do also in the other cities we work in, like London, like Dubai. And but it would be great to have that in Barcelona as well. Would that be something you can have a role in?
Oh, we would be delighted to, Burnett. We do this on a regular basis. Every month we're doing similar events to that. I've also, one of the things that I've been volunteering very proudly at is an organization called Startup Grind. And what we do there is every month we have, investors that have achieved a certain level of success. We do a fireside chat with them. Generally, we have 100, 150 people who show up to the events. And we've been doing this for 8 years. Every month, we haven't missed a single month for the last 8 years. And so we've gotten into this rhythm where we know the venues, we know the people, we know the network of investors, and the ecosystem of startups, entrepreneurs, is something that I would say I have a pretty good connection with. So absolutely, yes, I'd be delighted to bring them.
That would be nice.
One thing that might be, I'm sorry, Bernadette, go ahead.
I would love to join in one of your events pretty soon. That would be very nice, very nice.
And one of the things, since you have an international crowd, generally the internationals and the expats have a higher appreciation and capability to use and exploit a network effectively, a network of other entrepreneurs, of investors, of contacts and facilitators. And so they have a tendency to also to have a little bit higher net disposable income. So they can travel and they can value experiences better than sometimes the locals. I find this to be the case around the world, whatever city you're in. The expats who happen to live there, they've chosen to be in your city, and I think they embrace new technologies and new opportunities quite well.
Definitely. It's something that's so important wherever you are to be in business. Okay, so Victor, everybody who's listening and who's thinking of immigrating, going to Barcelona or Spain, etc., and I think they should, of course. But do you have any tips for? It's 2003, right? It's to me, it's kind of another world than it was before Corona. We have some crazy years behind us, also in business, and I can imagine that people reconsider or think like, okay, what's next? So can you give people some tips if they are struggling with the question if they want to immigrate to another country or not? What do they have to ask themselves?
Well, there's a couple of things that I always say. You can always go, and if it doesn't work, you can come back. But it is very difficult to obtain a level of knowledge of a culture and an appreciation of the opportunities that is very difficult if you don't go there. There's a saying I found it when I was traveling through Africa. If you want to do business in Africa, which I highly recommend, go there and not just be a visitor. Talk to the people, talk to the locals, and you will see that they usually, my experience is that they welcome everybody with an embrace. As far as traveling to Barcelona or just traveling to another country, I think there are opportunities in the midst of chaos, always. And so as we are kind of embarking on a post-pandemic reality, many countries are being flexible and trying to welcome expats to come and invest in their country, to come and just work and to help stimulate the economy. So I'm very bullish on the idea that this is the time to go out and explore. In a world that's getting more interconnected, those people who want to stay home and have a provincial view, I think, are at a disadvantage than those who are making deals in China, in Africa, in Asia, LATAM. There's so much going on, and Barcelona is a natural point because we're very close to Africa, we're central to Europe, and we got great wine, great country, great beaches. So please join us.
Okay, Victor, if I didn't live in Barcelona already, I would go today, to be honest. I would go pick my bag and go. So, and I hope that listeners are always getting that enthusiastic for that idea. Now, if you want to be in touch with Victor and hear more about his story, have questions about his magazine, or what he can do for you, just send us an email. Of course, always podcast@EuropeanLifeMedia.com. But as you know, in his bio, he will probably have his own website, his email address, and you get in touch with him. Victor, you already learned me so much. I'm really looking forward to get in touch with you and brainstorm a little bit more about these opportunities we both have. We are both in media and promotion in many ways. So I'm looking forward to that. And I want to thank you to be here today. And to all the listeners, I would say thank you for joining us. And I hope to see you in our podcast next week. Right?
Excellent. Thank you. And I hope to see you at a borrel. I love going to Amsterdam and Rotterdam and enjoying my Dutch friends because they're so open-minded and they always teach me something new.
Well, to be honest, I love you go to the Netherlands, but for me, it's too cold. I love to go to United States. I'd rather go to Miami. No, but, I always enjoy people with that kind of international mind and being enthusiastic. I'm the same way, so I always love to hear. So it was a lovely podcast. Thank you so much, Victor. And for everybody listening, I talk to you next week. Thank you. Bye. Thank you for listening today. Please subscribe and share this podcast. Do you have a question or a story to share? Please find us at podcast@EuropeanLifeMedia.com.